Hey there, Mr. Wilford here. I just wanted to go through Chapter 6, Section 1 with you. We are starting a chapter on polynomials, and we need to talk about a few terms here first of all, and we'll get into some different things with polynomials here, adding and subtracting them. First of all, let's start out with the most basic kind of polynomial, and that is called a monomial. And a monomial is a number or a product of numbers and variables with whole number exponents. So what we're looking at really are things like x to the power of 4, 4 times a squared b, x cubed y to the 4z. These are all monomials. They're just one term. In other words, we're not adding or subtracting any other terms. Now, when we take a bunch of monomials and we add or subtract them, it is called a polynomial. A polynomial is a monomial or sum or differences of monomials. So we have a bunch of terms put together that we're adding and subtracting. The degree of a monomial is the sum of the exponents of the variables. So degree of a monomial is very important to talk about the degree. For a monomial, all you're really doing is adding the exponents. So here we just have a power of 4. Here I have a squared, a 2, and a 1. There's really a 1 there even though we don't write it, so the degree is 3. Here we do not have a variable, so the degree is 0. And then for this example here I have a 3, 4, and a 1. Again, remember there's a 1 there. So if we add those together we get a degree of 8. Now that's a little bit different than when we start talking about polynomials, and the degree of polynomials we'll get to in a little while here. The degree of a polynomial then is given by the term with the greatest degree. So if we take a look at this example right here, we have a polynomial. Notice I have several terms added or subtracted together. The degree of this polynomial is the highest power. And so the greatest degree or highest power here is 3. This would have a degree of 3. Now when we talk about polynomials, we want to be sure to write them in standard form. And standard form, and again this is a good example because we start with the highest power and then work down from there. So I have a x cubed, x squared, x to the 1, and then no x. This is considered standard form. We have something called a leading coefficient, which is, once we have our polynomial in standard form, is really just the first number. The first coefficient is the leading coefficient. Now, as we go from a monomial, when we add another term or subtract another term, it's called a binomial. If we add or subtract a third term, then we have a trinomial. And in this chart here, you can see we have the names of different polynomials, the degrees, and different examples. These are all considered polynomials. But you can see here we have a constant, a linear. We've talked about linear equations, quadratic equations, degree 2, power of 2. Cubic is degree 3, quartic, and quintic. Now, when you're adding or subtracting polynomials, the thing to remember is all you're really doing is you're combining like terms. Remember, like terms, you have to have the same letter, same variables, to the same powers. Those are like terms, and you can add and subtract like terms simply by adding or subtracting the coefficient or the number that goes with it. In this example here, we're subtracting two polynomials. This is one, this is my other, and I'm subtracting. So the thing that you want to keep in mind here is to distribute this minus sign. That negative sign has to go to each of these terms in the second polynomial. So you can see here how the signs change. And then this is nice and color coded for us. These are like terms. I'm going to combine those, the blue one and the green one here. So my final answer is down here. Now, when you're graphing polynomials, the best way to do that is to use a graphing calculator. We'll talk more about graphing polynomials and some different things with that throughout the chapter. Of course, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.